Meantime, President Biden finally reaching out to our allies. He has only spoken to two world leaders, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and German Chancellor Angela Merkel, since Kabul's collapse. This as he faces criticism abroad for withdrawing U.S. troops from Afghanistan. How will this affect America's standing on the world stage? Let's bring in Marc Thiessen, former White House speechwriter, Washington Post columnist, and Fox News contributor. Marc, always good to see you. The Angela Merkel thing just happened, by the way. That's kind of the breaking news. He's now spoken with two. Okay, so there you have that. But a lot of people are still wondering, Marc, why in the world is Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau speaking with Hillary Clinton and not Biden about Afghanistan?
It's stunning. And this is Joe Biden, Mr. Diplomacy, the guy who just traveled to Europe and declared a return of a golden age of American diplomacy. And instead, he's hiding in the basement at Camp David and not talking to world leaders. And we need to remember, this isn't just a U.S. withdrawal. This is a NATO withdrawal. There were 7,000 NATO troops on the ground in Afghanistan that are getting pulled out. There are thousands of foreign nationals, French, British, German, other Canadian, other countries who are stuck in Afghanistan trying to figure out how to get to the airport, how to get out of there. So this is not just an American disaster, it's a NATO disaster. Yeah. It's a disaster precipitated by Joe Biden, but it affects our allies as well.
And to your point right there, I just want to play this soundbite yesterday at the briefing from Jen Psaki about talking to foreign leaders. Here's what she said.
If there is a benefit in the president picking up the phone and calling world leader, he will certainly do that, and I expect he will do that in the coming days.
If there is a benefit to him picking up the phone and calling world leaders, you just pointed out, there are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people from around the world also trying to figure out how to get out. And some of these foreign leaders would also like to say, you know what, I just heard from the president and here's the plan.
You know, if a Republican said that, remember they used to attack Republicans for unilateralism, and the Democrats were the multilateralists. Well, where's the multilateralism? In a crisis like this, the American people expect the commander-in-chief to be in the Oval Office, sitting at the Resolute desk, working the phones, calling world leaders. And the reality is also true. Our European allies have a lot at stake here, because if you remember the last time Joe Biden presided over a disastrous withdrawal, it was in Iraq in 2011. And ISIS regained its caliphate and unleashed a wave of terror across Europe. Remember the Charlie Hebdo attack? Yeah. Remember the attack on the Bataclan nightclub in Paris that killed 130 people?
Sure.
Remember the ISIS terrorists who drove into a crowd in Nice and killed 83 people? The attack on the Canadian Parliament, the bombing of the Brussels airport? This is not just affecting America, the consequences of this. Going to affect our allies.
Yeah,
and you would think that the Democrats, who are proud multilateralists, would be concerned about that.
And while you're talking, Marc, we're playing these pictures. These are some of the first images we've gotten about some of the U.S. military forces on the ground there at the airport in Kabul. So these are kind of stunning pictures that we've seen from the Americans working there night and day on this. And while we're looking at these pictures, I just want to say we also got the White House has just kind of passed along this thing about the morning briefing. And it goes on to say they were briefed intelligence, security, diplomatic updates, so forth, and they discussed efforts to accelerate evacuations of U.S. citizens, SIV applicants, and other vulnerable Afghans, and to facilitate safe passage from the airport. They discussed it. You would think there would be more meat there, Marc.
And more conversations and more allies involved in the conversations. I mean, this is absurd. And now you got Joe Biden coming back to the White House from Camp David finally, and he's going to give a press conference on COVID. You know that your Afghan policy is a disaster when you're trying to change the subject to the pandemic. That's a sign that you're really in trouble. When you want to rather talk about COVID than you'd like to talk about Afghanistan.
What's the strategy, Marc? You've been there, Marc. You've written some of these speeches for President Bush in a crisis mode. What is the strategy best that you can glean that we've been seeing for the past 2 or 3 days?
Well, first of all, President Bush would not have withdrawn our troops from Afghanistan, so he would not be presiding over a crisis like this. So that's number one. Two, words can't fix a disaster on the ground. You know, I was a speechwriter for President Bush in 2006 when things were going very badly in Iraq, and no matter what, there wasn't anything he could say to change that. The speeches only became effective in 2007, 2008 when he launched the surge and we started winning, and we beat back the terrorists until Joe Biden withdrew our troops a few years later and handed it all back over to ISIS. So, you know, speeches can't fix anything, but when you're in a crisis, you know, where's the Secretary of Defense? Where's the Secretary of State? Where's the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs? Where's the CENTCOM commander? Nobody's briefing the American people about what's going on while this absolute disaster is unfolding that was self-created by the Biden administration.
I hear you saying actions speak louder than words. Marc Thiessen, always good to see you. Thank you, sir.